So the situation down here in Limerick is certainly an interesting one. Every now and then we have trains that get stuck trying to come in here because we have too many trains that are trying to come in here. And for a while we had a bunch of trucks taking bricks, tools, and food into Limerick all on the same line. Now that was partially intentional because we did have the bricks and tools line, but the food situation was a weird one. So naturally, between this episode and the last, I made some changes. I have now split some of the Limerick lines up a little bit. We now have a dedicated tools line, we have a dedicated bricks line, and we have a dedicated food line, which is great news because Limerick has just started wanting food again. The town is very much on the edge of demanding food, so this might go away again. I'm hopeful that it doesn't. But either way, we are bringing food down from the same place that we've been producing food now for a very long time. And ideally, we're going to see this line start to do something. It has a rate of 36 with just 2 vehicles, which is kind of fantastic. If we look at the food processing plant, we are providing to all of our consumers right now. Limerick is apparently not included in that, but it should be relatively quickly. And all of this also has me thinking that it might not be the worst idea to go through here and make sure that all of these lines are updated to have new vehicles, such as this one, the Galway bricks to city line. We are just moving bricks on this line, so using the Benz truck with side stakes will bring that from 68 to 109 on the rates, which is probably for the best because the Galway bricks to city line usually has a lot of bricks waiting around. The Limerick bricks to city line is one of the new ones that I talked about, so it is perfectly fine. Food to train, same story. Let's go ahead and upgrade these guys to the tarpaulin truck, which isn't quite as good as the flat car with side stakes, but that is fine. Fuel to city, another new one, so that is doing just fine as well. Tools to city, on the other hand, we can go through here and upgrade that with the tarpaulin truck. And then the Tralee line is fine, as well as the Cork line being fine as well. And then I'd like to do the same thing with the Castlebar grain to food line. Its rate is 41 right now. That seems to be fine, but again, it can be better. So we'll go through here and upgrade it to the tarpaulin truck. The Castlebar grain food city line, same story. It is going to be the tarpaulin truck. Limerick food to city is fine. Food to train is fine. And grain food Kilkenny, same story. We're going to go through and upgrade all those guys to the tarpaulin truck. So that's going to give us a little bit more movement in there and a little bit faster movement as well. And I was not expecting Limerick to want fuel already, which is fair enough. I mean, we do have a fuel to city line, but we just got the food demand back in here. So that's pretty cool. Limerick is continuing to grow, which is great. But what I would like to do as well is start bringing tools all the way up to both Mullingar and, well, Castlebar did at one point there want some tools. It apparently doesn't anymore, but I'd like to bring tools at least to Mullingar. And then I mentioned in the last episode, we are going to be doing some stuff over by Grimsby, but I would like to bring some tools up this way. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it because Mullingar wants 26 tools. It also wants bricks, which we could reasonably bring down here if I really, really wanted to, which I do kind of want to do. What are you doing right now? Planks Tool City. So you could potentially start dropping off some tools in Mullingar if I really wanted you to, which we're going to experiment with this a little bit. It's what we're going to do. So after Limerick, I want you to go in there, which I'm really hoping you can do. And it looks like you're gonna, which is fine. We're gonna say that you are gonna unload some tools. It doesn't matter how many you unload. I'm hoping it's not too many. And we'll start running those into Mullingar is what we can do. And then on the flip side, what we can do is hopefully go to the other line, the bricks line from all the way up there. So if we get the bricks to Limerick and Galway line, we can go in here and say manage line. After Belfast, you're going to Mullingar, and essentially you're going to unload a certain amount of your bricks in here as well. And that's going to give us a supply of both tools and bricks to Mullingar, which means I could potentially bring those bricks out to Castlebar. We could set up some vehicles to go back and forth here, which I wasn't necessarily expecting to do. I was kind of thinking I'd just use a truck to bring some stuff up here. But if we're bringing tools and bricks to Mullingar by train, that also opens up Dublin as a potential consumer for bricks as well. So I get the feeling this little facility right here is not going to be enough. It really, really is not going to be enough. So let me play around with another little facility in here. We'll build ourselves another truck station. We are going to be sending bricks to Dublin, bricks to Castlebar, and tools to Castlebar. So we need 3 platforms. I'm going to say 3 platforms on the left, none on the right, and we're going to build it in here, which is obviously going to carve away some of that terrain at some point, but that is completely fine. We are just going to build it, I want to say right about there is what we're going to do. I may have forgot to make sure it was 30 meters long, but that's completely fine. We'll extend it ourselves to fill up all of this space. And I cannot get it to wrap around there, which is completely fine for now. I'm not super worried about that. This is a little bit steep. I don't necessarily love that. I'm also wondering if I could maybe bring this road up and connect it into this other road, but that is going straight up and over a hill that I don't really want to do. So I'm just going to disconnect that bit of road for now. And then what we'll do, I guess, is look at tools and bricks to Castlebar. So look, yeah, of course you don't want either of those things now. That's perfect. That is, all right, okay. Well, we're not going to be doing that then. We'll do the bricks to Dublin, and that's where we can get started here today. So looking into Dublin, it's all the way down here that wants those bricks. So let's put the stop for this. I want to say here. Should be totally fine. And we can go new line. We can go from here, and it's going over to that new stop in Dublin, which should be fine. So road cargo, it is Dublin, and it is bricks to City, which might be a weird thing to do given that we have to bring the bricks down here by train. This might start to get overloaded and a bit too complicated, but I'm willing to try this out is what I'm willing to do. So we're going to see what happens. At Mullingar transfer, the only thing you're doing is loading up on bricks, which is completely fine. You're unloading at Grove Road, which is completely fine. This is going to be a really busy intersection, so we will probably need to do some stuff with these roads eventually. But for now, let's get 5 of these guys. Let's paint them a nice sort of brick red color, and we're going to send them to Dublin and just see what happens. The good news with this is that technically speaking, we have now added Dublin as a consumer here, which is great news. And we've added Mullingar as well. So this thing should start to produce more. If we can ship more from here, it'll level up as well, which would be lovely. Although production is 590 right now, and it is being supplied. Oh, we're only shipping. Is it 1-to-1 on bricks? I don't remember. It is 1-to-1 on bricks. Oh, we're totally fine then. Oh yeah, we can max this place out, no problem. We will have no issues with that, which is great news. Oh, it turns out I'm also a bit of an idiot. I totally forgot to set up the lines to bring tools and bricks into Mullingar itself, which is slightly problematic. So let's go ahead and figure that one out. So the tools are going essentially right, oh God, the frames, right into about here is where we're looking with the tools. So I'm going to go right about there. The bricks are going down this way. So I'm going to say we go to this spot, and that'll let us sort of loop around a little bit. And then very, very simply, we want to go from this guy down to, I've already forgotten where I placed it. I think it was this one. And that was our tools line. So that is road cargo. It is Mullingar. It is tools to City. And then the other one was the bricks line. So we'll get you set up. Another new line from here. And it is going on platform number 1 this time, just to make sure it's spread out. It is going to this guy, and that is road cargo. That is Mullingar. And was this the bricks one? I don't remember. I'm really not 100% sure today. That is, yeah, absolutely is. So we have tools, we have bricks. That is totally fine. Let's make sure that at the transfer, the only thing you are loading up on is the set of bricks, and then you are loading up on the tools. And so now we just need some vehicles. We probably don't need too many of them. The bricks line, we'll say 3 for now. We'll get them a nice brick red, and then road cargo, Mullingar, bricks to City. And then for you, we're going to go for the tarpaulin truck. Let's go for, we might as well go for 3 of them again, just to make sure that we have enough, and we'll paint them in sort of a nice sort of metally color, which I guess is all right. So that is Mullingar tools to city. And so now both of those lines should function. We should have some trains coming through here, dropping off both bricks and tools in Mullingar, which will get delivered into Mullingar itself, which is perfect. Such as this guy, who is waiting to come through here. This almost has me tempted to... I can't really expand this. I really messed up building this train station in here like this, didn't I? I really did. Also, Castle Bar wanting bricks. We can immediately... And tools. Okay. We are going to capitalize. Is what we're going to do. The tools are wanted by that building right there. The bricks are wanted by that building right there. So let's immediately jump on this. We need to go back over this way. Oh my God, where's my camera? There's where we're going. I get a little bit lost sometimes. It's we're dealing with a lot of towns right now is what we're doing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit 2 more stations on this. It looks like I just about can, which is fine. I would like to smooth that as much as I possibly can as well, because it looks a little bit terrible. And then we'll go in and just sort of hide our crimes as we usually do. I don't love that they're being placed on this, the station, but you know what? It's fine for now. I'm just going to sort of surround this thing with some trees. We'll get some rocks in there as well if I can, which are right about there. We'll get some in that way, up that way, over there, and just through here as well for a few of those guys. And then get rid of these trees that aren't supposed to be here. It's like I'm playing City Skylines with Anarchy enabled, and I'm not sure why it does that, but sure. That looks totally fine to me. I think we can work with that. Let's get ourselves a new line, which goes from this guy. It is going to go from platform 5, and it's going to go all the way out to Castle Bar. And if I remember right, it was you that wanted the tools, right? So Castle Bar tools to city is what we're going to call you. And I need to just make sure the capital I isn't there, which is great. So at Mullingar, you are loading up on tools, which is great. And then the other line is going to go again from Mullingar. It is going to be going from platform 4, which it already is. And it's going to, I don't remember already. Just really bad at remembering things today, apparently. I've genuinely forgotten already where it wanted to go. It was, who wanted the bricks? It was you. It was this one. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm a professional. You're going to there is what you're doing. So that's road cargo, castle. Oh, no, let's try and spell that right. Castle Bar, bricks to city. And that should put us in a nice little spot. So get you in blue, get you in blue. Let's make sure the bricks line is set up to only take the bricks. And then immediately, we need to get ourselves some vehicles so that the demand doesn't go away. So we'll do 5 vehicles for the Castle Bar bricks line. We will paint them that beautiful brick red color that we have. And there they go. And then for the tools line, we'll do 5 vehicles. I may have misclicked. That's fine. And we'll put those on the Castle Bar tools to city line. So now we should have a situation where the consumers down here include Castle Bar, which is great. It includes Mullingar, which is also great. The bricks situation, if we look up this way, you have upgraded, which is beautiful. We now have Dublin included in here. We obviously had Limerick and Galway already. We have Mullingar and we have Castle Bar. So this guy is now producing an absolute ton of bricks, which is why I love connecting these cities as quickly as I possibly can. I am noticing that we seem to have a bit of a stockpile of steel down here, which is interesting, but I'll be honest with you. I would like to focus on goods production I'd like to spend an entire episode doing that. So I'm not too sure that that's something we're going to address today, but I would like to start I'd like to do to this goods factory what we've done with like the Leeds fuel refinery and sort of what we've done with the Oma construction materials plant. I want to just have it be like a central hub for goods. So that's kind of going to be the idea, and we'll see whether or not that works out, but that's the idea that I have for that. Now, speaking of Leeds and Liverpool and Manchester and Sheffield, we are here in Belfast West because I've been thinking that it might not be a terrible idea to look at bringing some tools. Oh, now Galway wants fuel, do they? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Do we have an easy way to do that? We could bring the fuel from Limerick sidings up to Galway. That is certainly an option. We could bring it from Mullingar to Galway. Same with the bricks, actually. No, I'm getting distracted. I kind of want to, I do want to get over to Grimsby. There's a process that I'm following here. I'm kind of like, we're dealing with the bricks and the tools. The tools specifically is how I want to get back over to England, because I was thinking that we could start taking tools from Belfast West here over to the docks, all the way over to Liverpool, and then start delivering them to Leeds and Sheffield and down to places in Wales. I've spent the last hour trying to pronounce this, and the first syllable is like has like in there, and yeah, no, it's I can't even try. I can't even do it. That sound does not exist in my vocabulary. It just doesn't. I'll work on it. We'll get there. I love Wales. I really do. I need a little bit more time to figure out the pronunciation of this. To my credit, or discredit, I suppose, I lived in Sweden for 4 months and I barely picked up a word of the language. So it's going to take some time, but we'll get there. We'll get some Welsh pronunciation at some points. We also have a ton of fuel in here that we need to deal with. But first, we need to get there is what we need to do. So I would like to bring some tools. Number one, more tools into Belfast would be amazing. I think we're more or less doing that. The rate's 91. It could be better. Let's put 3 more vehicles on that line, and let's unpause the game because we really don't need it paused while we're doing this. Although we have 132 million and I'm doing nothing with it right now. So, you know, it's fine. Either way, what I would like to do is look at bringing some tools from Belfast to Liverpool for delivery to Leeds and Sheffield and Wales at some point. Now, I think the easiest way to do this for now, just to get the production line going, is going to be a very, very simple truck line back and forth to Leeds. And we might get rid of this at some point. There's no guarantees this is going to stay, because I'm kind of weighing up whether or not we need to do this or if we have tools production nearby. And I mean, looking at England and Wales, and we'll go up and look in Scotland in a second. We have tools production down here by Brighton, which isn't the worst thing in the world. We have a sawmill by Brighton. We have the Bournemouth Forest over here. So we do have a production chain for tools that would let us make them here and start shipping them to Ipswich, Cambridge, Oxford, Cardiff, Swansea, Exeter, and there's actually a really good set of locations down here for tools, which is amazing. But I think I could run a train from down here, just a massive train line. That might be a really fun project at some point, but for now I'm doing it by boat. I don't need to do it by boat, but I'm going to, because I've decided I want tools going over there by boat. So let's set up a separate line for this, and it's going to go into here. It is road cargo. It is Belfast. It is tools to docks is what we'll call it. And that should be fine. So that line in Belfast West is going to be loading up on nothing but tools, which is all right. That line could also potentially take fuel to the train, now that I think about it, because it's essentially going to the same place as the fuel to train line. We could also just use the fuel to train line to make that happen, now that I think about it. Not the fuel. Yeah, the fuel to train line would actually, yeah, that'd be perfect. That would do just fine. We can use that same line. So fuel to train. So Belfast East is this guy. You are unloading tools. Here you are loading up on tools, and we'll say Belfast fuel to train / tools to docks, I guess is how we'll refer to that one. And that should be okay. We can use those same vehicles to sort of move things back and forth without putting more vehicles in the road, which is probably for the best. That line is also 165 on the rate. So yeah, we should be completely fine with that. The next thing we're going to need to do is set up these boats, because what we need to do is say at Liverpool, you are loading up on fuel, unloading tools. And then in Belfast, you are loading up on tools, unloading fuel. And that should keep us pretty good as well. These waypoints are ridiculous, but that's okay. So that should keep those good. That gives us an angle to bring the tools over to down to Liverpool. In Liverpool, we're going to need a line that goes from this little depot over to Leeds. So let's set that up. This might get replaced at some point with something a bit more efficient, but just for now, I want to go and do this so that it exists. We'll say road cargo, we'll say Leeds, and we'll say it is tools to city, which is solid. And I keep holding shift for a little bit too long on this. Leeds can be this dark blue color, which I think is completely fine. And then in Upper Liverpool, you are loading up on tools. And that is essentially the entire production chain now. So let's grab ourselves, that's a tram depot. Let me grab myself some vehicles for this. We'll say it is you. I'm going to say give me 5 of them for now. Paint them that same lovely blue color. And that is going to go on the Leeds line. So now, if I've done everything properly, the Limerick, ooh, that's a really nice looking bus. That's a new plane as well. We need to really start playing with planes. Either way, Leeds is now listed as a consumer at this factory, which is perfect. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it, which should mean that this place is now able to produce a little bit more. We're hopefully going to see those trains come down here with the planks just a little bit more on the regular. That would be kind of a beautiful thing. Whether or not it's super efficient, we'll find out. But I like this. I like that we're sort of like strapping into all these different lines and sort of repurposing vehicles for things. It's very, very cool. I'm very excited to see how this works, or if this works. I might be biting off a little bit more than we can chew, but we're gonna find that out together. All right, so now I want to come over to Grimsby, because we've been talking about this bricks production for a while, and I think it's about time that we do something with it. Now we have $173 million, which is more than I know what to do with. So I'm going to do something potentially silly is how I'm going to describe what I'm looking to do here, because I kind of want to build a huge piece of infrastructure down here for this this production. Now, the first thing I'd like to do is get myself a little bridge that crosses over this water, because Grimsby itself does happen to want some bricks, and I figure, you know, there's no harm in having a little bridge right here that's going to make my life a little bit easier. So we'll bring this guy out to about here. And then I just want to go over, no, I need the curved road tool to go over to there. That bridge is quite low. We'll raise it up a little bit. Something kind of like that, I think is fine. It could look better. Maybe this is fine. We're probably not going to have boats going up and down here, so it's not the end of the world. It's not the best looking bridge, but it's going to do what I need it to do, and that's all I'm really worried about. What I'd like to do now is come off of here and go up to about that spot. I'd like to come across to here to about that spot. And I'm really hoping that if I was to build a cargo terminus station up here, it is going to be connected to down there. And it absolutely is. Now, here's my thinking. Here's what I'd like to do. We are going to have Grimsby as destination 1 for this construction materials plant. In fact, let me just reconnect this road, because I keep pausing the game every time I start doing stuff. Reconnect that road, unpause the game. My worry with unpausing the game is that, I guess we'll run it slow. I don't want to unlock too many things. But here's my thinking. We are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destinations for bricks. 6 if we count Grimsby, but that's going to be by truck because it's super close. I want to build a 5 platform cargo terminus station down here and have 5 separate train lines that are going to be set to only leave Grimsby when the train is full of bricks. Otherwise, it sits here and waits its turn. And then we have a dedicated train line for Scarborough, Middlesbrough, Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool. Now, the Manchester one's going to be tricky because we don't have a train station in here, and the hills around Manchester are going to make it a bit of a pain to build a train station. So those are going to get dropped off in Liverpool and brought down here by truck. The Liverpool ones are going to get dropped off up here and brought down here by truck. The Leeds ones will get dropped off over here and brought in by truck. And then the Middlesbrough one and the, what the other one, Scarborough, is, there's hills around it, but I can probably make that work. We're probably also going to be dealing with some trucks. So that's my thinking. I have a ridiculous amount of money. I might as well use it for something sort of equally ridiculous is kind of where I'm at with this. So I just want to put a little cut on that corner so I can curve the road around there because I think that's going to look better. And then I'd like to bring this road back a little bit, and then we'll just connect these guys together in a way that doesn't look too bad. So something like that is completely fine. It gives us this area here for some giant train station. I would also like to connect the quarry here to everything else that we have going on. So over to here would be ideal. But what I think I'm also going to do is look at bringing this road out here. And I'm not super worried about contour lines for this particular setup because I do think we can kind of get away with it. I am going to bring this up to here though. I'm going to bring this over to about here. And then I'd like to, how do I want to connect this all together? I hadn't really thought about how this is all gonna work, but I suppose we disconnect you. We'll bring you sort of straight through that forest, and that should be all right. Can I get these guys to connect together like this? Yeah, that sort of works, and I'm okay with that. You're going to come straight off of there and up to there, which again is completely fine. It gives us a connection to Leeds. We don't need that, but I want that. And this gives us our connection straight over to the Grimsby construction materials plant, which is perfect. So what we'll do is set up a truck station, 30 meters. We'll say one platform per side because we can. And we've learned this lesson. If we're going to be doing a lot of trucks, we need a road that can kind of handle that. We'll build a little road that comes back here and then build the truck station at the end of it, because then we have a little bit more room to play with for the vehicles. For Grimsby itself, we're going to need a drop-off location as well as a pickup location. So let's say this intersection is probably fine. Although, again, we probably want to extend the road just a little bit so that we don't have vehicles backing up too much. So that'll be fine. That is our drop-off, and that is our pickup for the bricks going into Grimsby. And then the final destination for those bricks in Grimsby is going to be, I'm going to say right about there. Should be fine. I think this little building way back here isn't connected to that entire thing, but I'm not crazy worried about that. So let's set up a line that goes from here to here. That is going to be Grimsby Exchange loading up on bricks. Road cargo, it is Grimsby, and it's bricks to city. We're doing this again. We're setting up another bricks line. I'm going to go for, let's see, what are we going to go for color-wise? Let's go for this color right here in the middle. That seems kind of fun, and I kind of like it. Over here, the same story. New line going from this way to this way. We might need more platforms for the Grimsby Exchange, now that I think about it. That might not be a terrible idea to give it more platforms, because I was going to give this guy 2 platforms to pick up from, and down here only having 1 to drop off at might be a problem. But sure, we'll figure that out in a second. Road cargo, Grimsby, and it is stone to bricks. And that should be completely fine. It is this color right here. Dublin no wants goods. Of course they do. Of course they do. Let me extend this platform a little bit here. And we'll extend it down here as well. That seems like a decent enough idea. So that'll give us a little bit more room to play with. I can, of course, put one of these large buildings in here, which I really, really want to do. I love having the large buildings. I love having the buildings around here. I just think it looks so good. A little bit weird having it asymmetrical, but we'll not worry too much about it. Let me make sure that the stone to bricks line is now set up to do things properly. So here you're going to platform 3, and also you're going to platform 2. So that gives them 2 platforms to pick up from, 2 platforms to drop off at. That should be fine. The bricks going in here should be fine as well. And I suppose it only makes sense that we get ourselves a road depot in here, which can live right about there. That might sort of block a road from getting connected at some point, but that's fine. And I suppose we can make this happen, right? So Grimsby has a demand of 46, which means we are going to need 92 as the rate on the stone line. Let me also make sure that this actually is set up to do what I want it to do. In fact, it's only going to do stone, so that's fine. So we need to select this line. We need to pin that. We need to go to U, and we want to buy some vehicles. So we're moving stone, which is going to be the tarpaulin truck. We are going to say, give me 10 of those. We'll paint them sort of a dark gray color, and it is Grimsby stone to bricks. That gives us 88. We need that to be slightly higher. 92 was what we were looking for, so 97 is perfect. I think. What was the demand down here? It was 48. Yeah. So that's fine. We now need to go to the other line, the bricks to city line, and get that rate to be 48. So going in here, we want to get some of you guys. I'm going to go for like 3 of them for now. We'll do a nice brick red color, and bricks to city has a rate of 57. So that's perfect. We should now have, and we do now have production of stone over this way. We will have brick production down here, which means that the Grimsby production line is gone. That is a start. Now, is it overdoing it for me to come in here and put a train station in Scarborough for bricks and in Middlesbrough for bricks and then connect it all over to Leeds and Manchester and Liverpool? Yes. Do I need to do trains for this? No. Do I want to do trains for this? Yes. Yes, I do. So that's what I'm going to do. 5 platforms, 240 meters. I'll do 6 platforms because it kind of nicely rounds this thing out. And I'm just going to put it right at the end of that road. That's where it's going to live. Now, that's not to say that we're going to have individual tracks going to Middlesbrough and Scarborough. We're going to use the same set of tracks. It's going to run through. So I hadn't thought about this part. I hadn't really thought about how I was going to make this part work. We have a big old hill right here that we have to go through, which is going to be slightly tricky. Yeah, I really hadn't thought of this part. How do I want to make this work? Because I need this track to sort of, I kind of need it in here, right? Or we need like a terminus station out here. So we have to bring the tracks kind of out and then back in. That might genuinely be what we have to do here, because there's really not that much room in Scarborough for a train station. It's all between, but it's just in this little valley, which is very, very cool, but very much a pain for what I'm trying to do. So I think what I'll do for Middlesbrough is I'm going to redo some of these roads. I think this can go away. This can all go away. And we're going to connect this guy down to that lower road because I think that makes a little bit more sense. So let me get you upgraded. Let me bring you through here. And that is going uphill, but I don't mind that too much. It's not the worst looking thing because that's now going to let me put a train station kind of in here, which is what I'm looking to do. And I think it can be a cargo station. It's going to have 2 tracks and it's going to live right there. We are going to be dealing with tunnels once again, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. It's not the end of the world. We can also go in and just flatten some of this terrain around this guy to make it look a little bit more better, I guess, is how I'm just going to choose to describe what I'm doing here. I don't think it's going to look good by any means, but it's going to look better. So I guess when it comes to Scarborough right here, I feel like my only option is a new road out here with a regular train station that can feed through to Middlesbrough. I think doing a terminus station in here is going to be a little bit messy, possibly. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be messy regardless, but I don't know what way to do this. I don't know what way to do this. I think right here is like the perfect spot for a terminus station. So I think we're going to give this a shot and see what we can do. This entire road is going to be brought back. We will absolutely rebuild it, of course, but it's going to go for now. This is all going to go as well. And I'm going to go in there and just flatten some of this terrain so I have something I can actually work with, which is going to be very, very important to get right. So this is going to be our area for this terminus station. This road is going to come down to about here, and that's essentially where it's going to live. We can connect over to there as well, which gives us a nice little crossing there. And then the station itself is only going to have 2 platforms, so it's not it's not going to be unnecessarily huge. It's also not going to be the smallest thing. And it's going to live right about there, which I suppose is fine. In fact, I would like to bulldoze that, and I would like to bring this road through here first, because then I can get this station right up against that road. I just think that's going to look a little bit better. It just sort of, it's a little bit more compact, which is kind of what I'm looking for. This road here, I would also like to put a cut in so I can take it back and then run it just straight through to there. I think that's exactly where that road needs to go to, because that gives us this little square right here, which can be used for a truck station of some sort. Not the biggest of truck stations, but certainly a truck station, right about here. And I'm hoping that this little truck station can be used eventually for this fuel refinery up here. I'm not 100% sure how well that's going to go, but we have some variety in sizes here, and that's all right. Can I get any vehicles in? Oh, not vehicles, buildings in here. I can get one over there, which I'm okay with. So let's do one there. Let's do one there, and let's do another one there. And that gives us the weirdest little truck station that anyone's ever seen, which we can, of course, put some put some trees around naturally, just to sort of hide the crime that is this little truck station, because it's not great looking, but it's probably the best use of that space that I'm going to get. So I think what I'd like to do here is just bring this train line straight through. Maybe we just blast away some of this hill so it can run straight through without a tunnel being necessary. And then essentially this is now going to connect up to this existing set of tracks. So we're going to come out of down here some way, somehow, bring it around up and into there, but also continue it up and through this hill into Middlesbrough. This is going to be really, really messy, but I think it's going to look kind of cool. And again, I have an ungodly amount of money that I don't know what to do with, so I might as well just, I might as well. That's basically that's the point. We've reached that point of the game. It's not going to last if I spend my money like this all the time, but that's where I'm at for today, is I might as well do this because it's kind of interesting. Now, let me disconnect this little train depot, because it's going to be causing some problems for a second there. Now, we don't need to, the thing to be mindful of is we don't need to go down to, oh wait, no, we do need to go down to Leeds. Okay. Yes, I'm slightly complicating this now. Bring this over a little bit further. And then what I need to do is turn off parallel tracks. And I need to go up to here is what I need to do. So that's how we're getting up that way. This is going to go. And that can stay, because we don't need signals that are going to cause trains to back out onto other sections of track. So that's how we get in towards Liverpool, and that's okay. These signals down here are going to go as well for a second, because I kind of need to see what I'm working with. And my hope is that I can go from essentially right about here, sort of straight out and over this way. Is that a thing I can do? It absolutely is. It's also relatively fast, which is good. So we have that going for us. Now what I should be able to do is go from the other side, bring this down, and hopefully get this to line up in a way that's actually going to be kind of satisfying to look at, which is right there, I think. And yeah, that sort of works, right? That kind of works. It connects all this together. The only thing we need to do now is get this all connected into that same mess. So I need this to come up and over, and then up here and into the right, but also go to the left. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I had not thought about that. Oh boy. I didn't, you know, maybe a station that just goes through here would have been so much more more sensible. Yeah. I've ever so slightly, I've overcooked on this one, I think, because I do not know enough about trains to make this work, but I'm going to try because I've kind of got no choice now. So I suppose what we do is we bring some tracks out this way, and I need to have them sort of sharply turn over there is what I need them to do. I need them to go into a tunnel. I need them to stay in that tunnel, and connect over this way somewhere, but they need to come out up here and turn into the right, but they also need to go straight on. Yeah, the train. So we need, hold on. So we need sections of track here that both go to the left, go to the right, and go straight on. So we are crossing over our own train track is what we're doing. I did not think about that. Okay, let's see how small we can make these turns, because that's feeling like the only option that I'm going to have here is to really shrink down the radius of the turns for the trains. And it turns out the answer is relatively small, which is great. So I can bring that down to there. I can bring you through to here, and that is going to be much slower, but that is also going to do what I need it to do, I think. So you can go to here, and then this one is going to go out this way and connect up on that side. So that maintains the connection into Leeds, and that is a much smaller footprint for that little crossover point than what we had, which again is completely fine. What we now need to do is flatten some more of this terrain, because I need to sort of do similar in here, except also have one going across. Yeah, really genius move that I made here. Essentially, this is what I need to do. I need the tracks to cross over each other, and it's that simple. I just need them to cross over each other. So we're doing this. That's how we're going to be getting up to the Middlesbrough station. In fact, if I turn on parallel tracks, I can probably just bring this straight through to there. And yeah, that just gives me a tunnel the entire way to where I want to go. So turn on, yeah, parallel tracks are on. That is 2.5 million, and it didn't connect automatically, which is fine, I suppose. I can do it myself. And then on this side of things, we want to bring the track out to about, let's say, this spot, and that gives us our crossover point, which we're gonna deal with. This now needs to be connected down to here, is what we need to do. And let's see what happens if I just try and do that. What does the game do? It gives us that, which, if I'm completely honest, I think is about as good as this ridiculous idea is going to be. So sure, that's where I've gotten to with this. So we want to connect up to here. It is thankfully not parallel, which is great. We can smooth out the terrain. We can deal with the terrain problems after this. Do we need trains to go into Scarborough coming back from Middlesbrough? We do not. We're not doing passenger trains right now. We are doing cargo trains. So we turn off parallel tracks. We go from, say, here. Can I connect this? I absolutely can. It's going to be very slow, but that's all right. We go from this side. Can I connect to here? I absolutely can. Again, going to be quite slow, but that's fine. I'm not super worried about that. We have this crossing here, which we can get rid of for a second. And then finally, I just need to go from this side up to about there. And I need to go from this side up to about there. And that is going to let me send trains from down here to Leeds, Liverpool. It also lets me send them to Scarborough. It also lets me send them to Middlesbrough. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? We need this and we need that, but we can't do that, I don't think. Do we have the room? I don't think we do have the room to make this happen, unfortunately. Can I bring you back any further? I think I can. I can go to about here, right? I just need this to be as small as it can be. So there, and please, there we go. That's all we needed. Okay, so that gives us a crossover point in there. Up this way, we kind of need the same thing. So you need to cross over to that side. You need to cross over to that side, but apparently it doesn't want to do that for some reason. I'm not 100% sure what's going on in there because I need the tunnel to behave. Maybe we just get, you know what? Do I want to get rid of the tunnel for a little bit? I think I do. I've spent ridiculous money on this so far. I'm going to continue to spend ridiculous money on this so it actually looks proper and works properly. All right, so the only complaint that the game has right now is that Leeds and Scarborough are not connected by a road. So that's easy to fix. That is not a problem. I can bring a road right out of here. Maybe not quite that far, but we'll go to, say, this spot. And then this road here is going to sort of come up and through. We'll sort of take it towards the train tracks. So we are going to have a level crossing, which is fine. That should be all right. I don't know how well traffic's going to manage to navigate that level crossing because there's going to be a lot of trains going back and forth, but that is our connection again. So we're good on that front. Now, this is so stupid. Okay. How do I want to do this? How do I want to make this work? I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do, but I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Let's get a destination in Leeds for some bricks. It's going to be right there, and that's going to be perfect. So road cargo from here to there. So it is Leeds and it's bricks to city, which should be fine. We're going to go for that lovely dark blue color as we did before. And in Leeds East, you are loading up on bricks. So that is sorted on that particular front. We can get some vehicles for that line. We'll get them from Liverpool because we're going to be a minute before this is all up and running anyway. And we'll say 5 of them. We'll say a lovely brick red color, and we will say go to bricks to city for Leeds. So that line is good to go. The Grimsview line is also good to go, which means the Scarborough line is the next one I want to set up, and it's going to go right to about there. I think is probably our best spot. It's actually a pretty good spread for Scarborough. So you know what? We'll do 2 stops for the Scarborough setup. I think that's probably fair enough. So we'll go to there and there. I'd also like to do some waypoints so the trucks kind of like loop around in a satisfying way. Then we'll say new line from here to there. And the trucks are actually doing what I wanted them to do, which is perfect. Okay, well, that's made my life a little bit easier. Scarboroughh. That's how you spell Scarborough, right? Scarborough, yeah. Bricks to city. And we will say Scarborough Central, you're loading up on bricks, and that's all we're worried about. Scarborough as a color is going to get, let's go for like this yellow down here. That seems fun. And that should be fine. Now, we need vehicles for that as well. So we can send them up from Grimsby, I suppose. And we will go ahead and get 5 of them. We will say that they're going to be that lovely yellow color this time, just to sort of differentiate them a little bit. Different company, perhaps. Running that line, and away they go. I say different company running the line as if it's not just all me, but that's besides the point. Next up is Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough for bricks is all going to be right next to the station, so we might not actually need any trucks coming through here, which is kind of a huge deal. So we'll try that one out in just a second. Liverpool, on the other hand, is going to be very, very busy. Very, very busy. Also, are you overloaded with fuel? Nearly. That's slightly concerning, but we'll figure that out, I suppose. How do I want to do this then? Because we have this guy. This is already a very, very busy little station. Although this is just deliveries. So we could use those same 2 platforms. We could avoid blocking traffic and spend some of the 160 million I've got. So I think that's what we'll do is spend some of the 160 million that I'm just casually sitting on right now. Something like that looks pretty good to me. And that should be completely fine. The reason we need 2 platforms for this is because one is for Liverpool itself, one is for Manchester. So for Liverpool, we have a need for bricks down this way. And we have a need for bricks over this way. So we'll go ahead and set up a new line. I want to grab those 2 stops pretty much right away. And then you're going up to here and you're using the right platform. So road cargo, it is Liverpool and it is bricks to city, as we've done many a time before. Some of these Liverpool lines have different shades of red going on there. I think this one is supposed to be that lighter shade right there. So Liverpool bricks to city. We need to make sure at Liverpool Central, you're loading up on bricks, which I believe you are. This is all connected, which is fantastic. So we'll be able to bring some bricks in here by train in no time. And then finally, Manchester, which is also a little bit spread out in terms of where it wants its bricks to go. So we'll connect these guys together and we will do a little stop down there and a little stop up there. And that should be totally fine for Manchester's brick line. Again, it's going to be going from in here. It is going to be going from platform number 4. And it's heading into this spot and this spot. And then road cargo, it is Manchester and it is bricks to city. And it being Manchester and the first Manchester line, by all accounts, it probably should also be a red line. Well, no, it could be red or blue. Oh no, we're getting into... You might have figured out an episode or 2 ago why I picked red for Liverpool's color, and I've now realized that it can be red or blue for Manchester. Oh no. You know what? To avoid any, I'm not going to pick a side in that debate. Again, if you know, you know. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But as someone that's not going to pick a side, we're going to go with pink for Manchester. And no, we're not. We're going to go for yellow for Manchester. That seems like that's the color we can all get behind for Manchester, especially for the public transport. So absolutely, we're doing that. Liverpool Central, load up on bricks, and we should now be good to go. So that gives us lines for all of those. Let me buy some vehicles to get this up and going. So Liverpool Road Depot, let's buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. We'll paint them that dark red color, and they're going on the Liverpool bricks to city line. We will buy another 5 of those, and they're going to go on the Manchester bricks to city line, which is going to be right about there. And so I think that's vehicles on all of those lines. We have them going into Leeds. We have them going to Manchester. We have them going to Liverpool. We have Scarborough. We have Middlesbrough. Yes. Now we need trains. Well, actually, no. Now we need to finish this because I need more platforms is what I need. Well, not more platforms, but more connections is what I need. So how many train lines are we working for this? We're working 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Yeah. Okay. So I need to use 4 platforms for this. And that should be fine. Yeah, we can totally make that work. All right. Trains, tracks. Let's bring a section out here. It is going to be relatively parallel, going up to about that spot. And then this is where they can merge over. In fact, maybe they don't merge over there. Maybe they merge right before this crossing so that the crossing is actually, it's a little bit wider, but it's not going to mess too much with traffic. We'll bring this around to here. And then we can merge over just before we get to the tunnel, which should be perfect. So right about there. Okay, so that's going to give us everything we need. Down this way, we're going to need some crossovers. So we'll go for here. We'll go for here. And then on the flip side, we want to go to here. And we want to go to here. So that lets everything get back and forth, which is great. We'll need some signals for all of this because, oh boy. We're going to need some signals for all of this. Signal right there. Signal right there. Signal there. And then for you, I want to say a signal here. Although that might block this entire stretch, but we'll have to hope for the best on that one. Signal right here and a signal right here. Okay. Let's hope for the best on this because I'm not entirely convinced by what I've done. I've got to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure that I've nailed this, but we will see. As for auto signaling, we'll go here and that'll bring us a nice little stretch of signals up this way. We can go for here as well, which is probably not one that we want to have, to be quite honest with you. So we'll just move that signal down this way. We'll turn off auto signaling and put it there, and we should be okay. I also need signals in this entire stretch of the track as well. So now that I think about it, let's go for here. That brings us right through, and we'll go for here. We should be okay with that. We should be able to manage. So now I need to set up some train lines. It's what I need to do. Oh boy. Okay, so how do I want to do this? What platform are you going on? You're going to platform 6. So you're going from Grimsby to Scarborough. I would like it to go to platform 1 in Scarborough just because, and then it comes out and then it goes back, and that's okay. So train cargo. This is so ridiculous. Man, Scar. Oh God, how do you OROUGH Scarborough bricks to City. I'm giggling because this is stupid. Just to be clear, it's so stupid. What was the color we picked for Scarborough? It was bright yellow. Okay, so that one's set up now, and that's fine. The next new line is going to go from platform 5, and it is going to Middlesbrough, which is fine. So it cuts straight across. That'll probably have no problems whatsoever. Road cargo, MIDDLES BOROUGH, and it is bricks to City as well. This is it's so silly. This is so silly. Let's get these train lines set up and figure out if this is even going to work. All right, so now we need a train. The lines are done, but we need a train that can pull this off. Now, we do have our first electric train, which is the Crocodile. Unfortunately, the Crocodile is not as fast as the A35, so we're going to be going with the A35 for this. And then cargo-wise, we actually do have a new passenger locomotive as well, which is very exciting. We might put that over on our passenger line, but obviously we're dealing with cargo and we're dealing with bricks. So let's just do 10 of them for now. This is let's just do enough for 80 capacity. We're not going to need more than that. We're going to paint these guys, I want to say that color. I think that's going to look interesting. And we need 4 of them is what we need, because we have 4 train lines that we're working with. So you are going to go on train. Wait, did I do road cargo for the Middlesbrough one? I did. Okay, well, I need to rename that. You are going to go on Leeds bricks to City. You are going to go on Liverpool bricks to City plus Manchester. And you are going to go on Scarborough bricks to City. And so that gives us the 4 trains going where I need them to go. I do need to rename this train line because I did road cargo instead of train cargo. And then the last thing I need to do, the last change I need to make, is to each individual line and say that when you're in Grimsby, you are going to wait. You are going to say full load infinitely, basically, is how long you're going to stay here, because that means the trains are not going to be running until they have all the bricks they could possibly have. And that's going to, 1, save me a little bit of money, and 2, mean that the lines are a little bit less congested than they would otherwise be. And that's how I'm hoping this is going to work. That's how I'm hoping that this is going to be successful, is these trains are just going to sit here until whatever, essentially. Now, looking at the consumers for this factory, it is probably going to go a little bit nuts once it realizes that it's been suddenly connected to all of this. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. It really is. I hope this works. I really do, because it's kind of fun, you know? It's kind of fun. You're producing 400 right now. There's no way this guy isn't going to end up with some ridiculous production, right? There's no way. Like, eventually it's going to go like, oh wow, I'm connected to like everything right now. So assuming the train station's in the right spot as well, that's something we have to keep in mind, whether or not this actually Whether or not this actually works kind of hinges on the fact that the train station kind of needs to be in the right place, which could be problematic if it isn't. Oh no, we're good. It's realized. It has all of these guys listed in here now. Leeds, Scarborough, Manchester, Liverpool, Grimsby, Middlesbrough. That's good. That's exactly what we're looking for. So production in here will probably shoot up very, very quickly. So I think what I'm going to do is immediately go to the stone to bricks line, and I am just going to duplicate the vehicles on there. I am going to duplicate the vehicles again, and that's going to give us a rate of over 400, which we don't need right now. But eventually this place will be producing 400 stone. So we might as well sort of get the vehicles in there already to start moving that. Grimsby will eventually demand more. Obviously all of these lines will eventually demand more, but the idea is that these trains have a rate of 143, or at least that one does. So we should be okay. And this right here, this is what I'm looking for. This is why I have these trains waiting in here, because essentially they are just going to sit here until they have a full load of bricks, and then they'll head out. It's 94,000 to run these trains. It is 34-ish to have them sitting here. This is perfect. And they could be so much bigger as well, which is kind of very exciting. Oh, there we go. We have the first train heading out. It is the Liverpool, Brixton City and Manchester line, which is amazing to see. So this guy will upgrade eventually. It's just that we need to start transporting more stuff to all of the destinations. And because the trains are waiting here, that's not necessarily something they're gonna, well, they're not doing that right now, essentially, is what they're doing. But we have this guy coming through. I'm kind of curious to see what it does in terms of traffic around here. And it looks like it's doing okay, which is great. That's what we want it to be doing. It can then just continue sort of straight across there, and for the most part, everything seems okay. We shouldn't be interrupting service all that much, I would hope. We really shouldn't be. It does look like I could maybe get another little signal in here just to help a little bit. These trains also aren't that huge, so I could probably put more signals across these tracks, but as we start getting bigger trains, that might be a little bit unnecessary. But for the most part, it seems like we're doing just fine. And on this line specifically, I actually have it set up to go to either platform. So if this platform is full, it'll go to the other one. If the other one's full, it'll wait. It's just going to be, it should be completely fine. Also, this guy is now fully leveled up, which is just ridiculous. That is a huge amount of fuel in there as well. And that's a big 693. Okay. We need more boats. This guy has a rate of 377. I want to say we want more boats is what we need. I definitely think we need a few more right there. How are things looking over this way? What have we got going on? We have a lot of stuff waiting to go through here. We have some tools waiting to go over, which is very cool. That's great news. A lot of bricks, a whole lot of bricks. A lot of bricks down here as well, which is certainly interesting. A lot of fuel down this way too, which is certainly interesting. This is good. We have expansion going on. Also, Limerick food train right now is not moving enough. That's slightly concerning. Let's get some more vehicles in that line, I guess. Just while we're here, we'll put 2 more on it and see if that helps us out a little bit. Hopefully it will. And looking back over this, that's such a big fuel icon. Looking back over this way, the trains are all still sat here, unfortunately. This guy, like I said, it's not going to level up until we start transporting stuff, which is completely fine. We have got bricks in here now, which is amazing. So they'll start getting taken into the cities, which we love to see. And already we are on track to seeing the Grimsby construction materials plant level up, which is going to take its production from 100 to 200, which means we'll start shipping 200 stone over here from the quarry, which is fantastic news. So a little bit more money from that quarry is going to be a really, really good thing. And this is also going to mean that the trains start getting filled up that little bit quicker, which is also a very, very good thing. That'll also provide more bricks to Grimsby itself if and when the demand is there for it. But if I'm not mistaken, you are now, yep. We're shipping 200 stone over this way, which is just fantastic. I love this. I really do. I want to make these trains bigger. I do. I want to make them. I feel like they should be the full length of the platform, especially the ones going up this way, because these platforms are long enough to deal with that. And I think the Liverpool platform is as well. So we could absolutely make these trains huge if we need to, which would be preferable. To be completely honest, we would definitely want to make the trains bigger instead of putting more trains on these tracks, because this is not set up for multiple trains. It's kind of one per line. That's kind of the way I see this working. Oh, now this should be interesting. I have this guy set up to go to either platform down here as well. And we have a train for Leeds that's going to try and come down this way now. Is this going to cause any problems is my question. Where is it going to sit? It's going to wait there, which is actually okay. And that train's about as big as it can be for that space. So this heads out, this guy comes in, drops off whatever it has to drop off. That's totally fine. We have a bunch of bricks in here, which can all go into Leeds, and that should make Leeds very, very happy. I'm also very happy that we only have one train waiting here, and this guy is well on its way to leveling up again, which I don't know about you, but that makes me very excited to see this start to come together. We have our first delivery of bricks into Scarborough as well, which is great. This guy has a rate of 210. Oh, God, I need you guys to kind of have a rate of 210 as well. Otherwise, we're going to start losing stuff. So let's make sure 234 is going to be perfect for that. Middlesbrough should be fine. Leeds has a rate of 160. And you have a rate of 96. So let me double that as well, just to make sure that we're not losing anything. So 192 is fine. And then down this way, you have a rate of 41. Ugh. Oh, that's a bit rough. That's going to have to improve. I'm not too sure how I'm going to improve that, because it is just going to be waiting around here for a while, but maybe with time. Oh, this is leveling up again. Okay, fantastic. And wouldn't you know, this place is going to level up again, which is just ridiculous. We're going to be going up to 400 in production here, which means we should be able to max out the stone to bricks line for Grimsby. We have a ton of bricks waiting to go over to Liverpool and Manchester, which is wonderful. We have a bunch of bricks heading over to Leeds as well, a bunch getting ready to go to Scarborough, and we just had a drop off in Middlesbrough as well. I like this. I didn't have any faith in it, but I like it a lot. It's really kind of cool. I will say we're still having the same issues down here with way too much fuel waiting to go to Belfast. And speaking of Belfast, we have a lot of fuel waiting to go over to that train right there, which is certainly something. It is definitely something. We still have too many tools and bricks around here. I'm considering making those trains a little bit longer. I think to do that, I would have to do some renovations in Limerick, because I think this station's decently long, but I think the Limerick station is still quite small. I think maybe it's time we do this. I think very quickly. I was going to wrap things up and leave this for another time, but I think we need to make this platform longer. Now, for the life of me, I don't know exactly how many of these I need to build to make it the right length. So I'm just going to do 3 more, which builds out this hill that I really don't like, because I really loved having the bridge in here, and I think the bridge looks awesome, but I think this is about the best we can do. Oh, it's changed material now as well, because it's more modern. We're almost doubling the length of this, so that should be fine, I guess. That's how I'm going to choose to look at this. It should be fine. We could also put more tracks in here if I really wanted to. Do I want to do that? Do I need to do that? Do we need to do that? I don't know that we do, honestly. I really don't know that we need more tracks in here. It probably wouldn't hurt to have the extra track, but I think we'll live without it, and I think we'll manage. I don't love this change. I think I'd like to smooth that terrain first before we go ahead and do anything with the bridge right there, just to try and make this look a little better. We might have to flatten some terrain here as well, just to sort of make that smoothing a little more natural looking. It's never going to look perfectly natural, but it looks passable, I suppose. And then for this guy, we just go from here to here. It raises the terrain a little bit. I don't love that, but it's manageable. And yeah, that's that's what we're dealing with. Actually, do we have, I know this is something I don't necessarily love, but do we have a more modern looking bridge? We actually do. And I want to build this, not because I don't like the old bridge, but because I like the idea that somewhere along the way, you know, in this era of rapid expansion for the company and for the world, I like the idea that somewhere along the way, they were like, we don't need that old stone bridge. Like, obviously these days we would look at that and be like, man, no, keep the stone bridge. The stone bridge is beautiful. Not that this isn't, but you know, I like that they would have been like, that old stone bridge isn't fit for purpose. Get rid of it and just build something out of steel. And this is what we have for the expansion to Limerick is what we have now. But what we should now be able to do is throw some more wagons onto all of these trains. So if I go in here and I modify them, we can do, and I'm not really interested in any sort of pattern for this. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 more of those, 1, 2, 3 more of those, and 1, 2, 3 of those. We can then do 1, 2, 3 boxcars. We'll do 1, 2, 3 boxcars, and we'll do 1, 2, 3 boxcars. It's sort of a weird little pattern, but that's fine. It gives us 10 of each, which I'm fine with. We'll paint those that sort of dark red color. In fact, we'll change it to a slightly lighter red color just because I can. And then we go to the planks line and do exactly the same thing. So we want to replace these guys. This time we're going to go with 1, 2, 3 of you, 1, 2, 3 of you, and 1, 2, 3 of you with the flat cars at the back because we had that alternating pattern across the train lines. So 1, 2, 3 of you. All right. So we do that. We paint these guys that color, which is a bit lighter. Let's go a little bit darker again. Actually, I kind of like that. And that gives us more capacity per train. And hopefully that doesn't completely mess things up because the signals are quite close together in a few places, but it looks like we'll be okay. I'm hoping we're going to be okay. I don't remember if those trains are powerful enough to do that, but at the very least, we should now be able to move more bricks and more planks. And that is something that we've definitely been having some issues with. Also, is this line profitable? It isn't. Okay, well, that's fine. All right, so I think we've done about everything that I wanted to do for today. We've definitely set up a new industry at Grimsby, and it's definitely going very, very well. So much so that this thing is well on its way to leveling up completely. We're doing amazing things, is what we're doing. We also probably need another train for the Liverpool Bricks to City and Manchester line, despite the fact I said we weren't going to be doing more trains. The simple reason for that being that this train here coming in is that Liverpool train, and in the time it took to leave here, get to Liverpool and come back, there is more than double the amount of bricks on the platform than it can carry. So obviously one option there would be to extend that train, make it a bit longer. I think that's the first thing I will do, is just make it a little bit longer so that it can carry a little bit more. I think that's probably the safe bet. I don't know if 247 meters is too long though, to be quite honest with you. It might be. I don't know what the length of this platform was. In fact, we can check what the length of that platform was. It is 240. So 240 meters. If we go to manage these vehicles and I modify you, we want you to be under 240 as much as you possibly can be. 236 is completely fine. 152 as a capacity is pretty good. We'll paint you that dark red, and that should mean that it can at least carry a fair bit more, which is going to solve some of the issues, at least for now. Now, I would be lying if I said I wasn't curious about what's making us money, and right now it is still the oil fuel docks train line. The boats are actually making really good money as well. The Liverpool Bricks line is making some money too, which we love to see. We are losing money on the Belfast to Mullingar passenger line, of course. Belfast Bricks to City is also losing money. Scarborough and Leeds Bricks to Cities are also losing money. Not that much though, to be quite honest with you. So not super worried about that. Quite a few of our little lines down here are losing money as well. It would be nice to go in and sort of fix some of those at some point, but I can't deny that the multiple millions we are making up here is very satisfying. Also, the Grimsby Stone to Bricks line is almost making 1 million as well, which is beautiful news. So no complaints from me about what we've built here today. Anyway, I think that is going to do us for today. We have our huge train full of bricks coming into Liverpool as we speak, which is a beautiful thing. I'm so excited to see what we can do with these train lines and with these production lines in the not too distant future. Definitely not going to complain about 2.9 million from that line right there, although we might have some issues taking those bricks to Liverpool and Manchester if we start to see the overloaded truck terminal in the background. But for now, I think we're good. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.